What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, host of the Philly Talk podcast, but today we got something a little different. We are live on 3 channels, so it is the Philly Talk podcast, JC Sports Talk, and Bird Gang 31. That's why we had to do the countdown. I can't be having this is Philly Talk of Philly Mike. Someone's like, is this Mike or is this JC Sports Talk? I don't know, but make sure wherever you're watching this, whether it's live with us or on the rerun, hit that like button, subscribe to the channels. Again, type in the search bar everybody's name that's on here, not PTP, but Philly Mike will be fine, and you'll find our content. But how you guys doing today?
Hey man, look, I'm excited. I can't wait. Anytime we talk about the Eagles, especially, this upcoming season, our off-season draft picks, look, sign me up all day, every day, and twice on game day. Let's go.
I love it. Bird Gang having trouble with the camera now. He'll be back. Everything was good backstage. And shout out to Miguel, man. We would have been maybe 20 seconds earlier, but when you said we got James Bradbury, I had to make sure we really were trolling. But how you doing, BG?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How you guys doing today? Thank you for bringing me onto your platform. It's awesome hanging out with you guys. Let's have some good football talk. I can hear you guys. I'm like, you guys are talking, making noises. I'm like, I don't hear nothing you guys are saying.
Well, I'm glad you got it figured out quickly. So again, shout out to everybody in the chat. And we just got this schedule, right? I know we all talked about it a little bit on our own channels. I actually did my video yesterday. And I did come on your stream and talk about it. I thought double digits for sure. I got us going between 11-6, 12-5. When you just thinking about the schedule, right? What is that one game that you're like, even though I think we're better than that team, we can end up losing? And give us one of the things that you said we're going to lose to, but on a good day, we can actually surprise a team. Give me your two flip-flops like that.
All right, look, I'm going to go first. Look, I honestly think the worst nightmare for the Philadelphia Eagles is, hey, that Washington game, man. Like, I know last year we swept them, but both times we were down. And I know we got better on defense, with Dean and Davis and, whatever other moves we're going to make. But for some odd reason, if they had a better quarterback last year, we probably would have lost both games. But at the same time, Jonathan Gannon, his second year, and, being the DC, hopefully he come up with a better play scheme. But with Carson Wentz, there's nothing worse than a revenge game. Like, do not sleep on revenge games, man. Yes, we know how Carson Wentz play. Yes, we know how when it's a big game, it's all happy feet back there. He don't go to his check down. He just you caught a play, he throws. I get it, but for some odd reason, that Monday night game, I'm not talking about
Philly.
Yes, and in Philly, because I think that we're going to go to Washington and beat Carson Wentz because, that's his home stadium, But coming to Philly, he's going to have something to prove. I was the number 2 pick. I helped y'all win a Super Bowl, and y'all gave this guy, a.k.a., Nick, what I mean? Nick, what I mean? Hey, it is what it is. Nick Foles. So a statute and all that stuff. So I really think that Monday Night Football game, do not sleep on the Monday Night Football game. I believe we could win this game absolutely 100%. But if Carson Wentz come, for one game only, that might be his Super Bowl. Hey, look, if they go 1-16, that one win might be against Philadelphia Eagles because of the revenge factor. And this whole, you trash, and then you got a Jalen Hurts. So I really think that is the game. But every other game, it is what it is. But that is the one revenge game. Like, when was the last time we had a revenge game? Like a player came to Philly. I know Dawkins. I know we played the Broncos.
McNabb.
We beat them, right? Yeah. T.O. Matter of fact, like T.O. Yeah, we beat them. But having a quarterback come back to Philly, your franchise quarterback, literally 3 years after. So that's the game right there. I'm circling, and I will be at for fact. I already got my tickets. I will be at that game for fact.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. BG, what is yours? What is your one that you're like, we shouldn't lose to this team, but it could happen, and the one that nobody thinks we could beat that we might surprise them?
I really think we can beat everybody on this roster.
I know it's hard. It's hard to
There's
ask.
not a team like last year, like you said, man. Last year there were some teams on there that you like. We probably gonna lose this game. You know what I'm saying? Like this year's different. I feel like these teams are all winnable. Will we beat them all? Probably not. But if I had to pick a game, like you said, the Carson Wentz game is really big. One of those games I feel like Carson can, do his thing. They always do. Whenever they go to Redskins from our team, they come back and they torture us. So that's one game. But I'll probably say that even like the Tennessee Titan game, you know what I'm saying? AJ's going back over there. You think it's going to be about that. And, Derrick Henry just goes off for like 250 yards. Like he can do it against any defense. So those will probably be my two games there.
Yeah. I'm looking at one of these games like uh something maybe even like the Jaguars, right? I think they definitely got better. That's another
Yeah.
revenge tour for Doug Peterson, winning the Super Bowl with us and being fired shortly after. I mean, that got a stick in his crosses. And again, I think Doug understood what time it was between him and Howie. The fact that Howie gave him an opportunity to, keep his job, but by firing the guys that he wants, and he wasn't willing to do that. So I think there is some love lost there, not necessarily Doug for the Eagles, but between Howie Roseman and Doug. And so I think there's a competition there. So I can see that. And again, no matter who you are, any team, you're going to have games where you like, how did I lose that one, right? When it's all said and done, the Chiefs will slip up and lose to a okay team, the Packers and all that. And if I had to pick my one game that I think is going to be tough, I think it's going to be, that Packers game. For some reason, we play Green Bay well. And I think, we can maybe go up there. I'm not sure if that's a home game or a road game, but that would be my one game where everybody's going to be having us as underdogs, and maybe we come out with the victory. I do believe we'll be favored against the Jags, but that one I'm going to be watching closely because Dougie P might get that revenge. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you a question, real quick, because this year we do play Frank Wright, Carson Wentz, and Dougie P. So how
Zach
would
Ertz
you
too.
feel?
Zach
And
Ertz
Zach
too.
Ertz. So how would you feel if we lose to all four teams? Like
Man.
honestly, because it's a possibility though. Because like you just said, I mean, look, I can put anything out there. Look, it is. Yeah, and look, we got people putting 17-0 out there. Is it gonna happen? Hell no. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? But the factor is that Dougie P, like you said, our first Super Bowl winning head coach, and he might feel some type of way. We let him go. Literally did not give him an opportunity. And he brought us to the playoffs 3 out of 4 times that he was there, and we canned him like a piece of tomato can, like bye, goodbye. And then Carson Wentz, we moved up like 6 spots, just gave up, picks after picks to move up and get him. And then Zach Ertz, the best Eagles franchise tight end, in Eagles history, arguably. And then you got, Frank Wright, and without him, would Carson Wentz would be the guy he is? Would Dougie P actually win a Super Bowl? Because and some people say that Frank Wright and our quarterback coach, at the time, um, he went to the
DeFilippo?
Vikings. Yeah, you're there, Filippo. So would Dougie P would have been successful without those guys? So now, hey, it's a realistic that everybody that we play, those guys, are out for revenge. I'm just saying it's not out of the picture because the Jags is a decent team. The Cardinals is a good team. The Washington football team, like I said last year, up double digits against us both games. So it's not like a far fetched idea if we lose to all four of those, all three, four of those teams. But how would you feel though?
I definitely would be upset and shocked. I think that you got to come out with a couple wins in that scenario. I did have a splitting against the Washington football team. I believe we could beat the we sweep the Washington football team, but I do see a scenario where we end up splitting. The team that I really want to sweep and get back to just destroying them is the New York Giants, right? Like we literally owned them
Yeah.
for a large portion. And then, last year they got that one win against us.
Yeah.
We split it, and I think we got to get back to dominating them. The Cowboys are going to be interested, and I think we're going to split that. And there's no way I can the Christmas Eve game. I think is going to be huge for so many reasons. One is Christmas Eves, and us as Eagles
Okay.
fans, right? I don't know. I mean, Philly sports fans in general, right? Our mood is based around our sports teams. It is what it is. The Eagles can ruin my week or bless my week, let alone be the day before Christmas. It's going to be rough. And I also think that it is a two-man race. I think that although I love talking trash on the Dallas Cowboys, I think that they are going to be the team that's fighting with us. So close to Christmas Eve, when the regular season is coming to an end, that game might not just be about, oh, are you going to have a great Christmas or a horrible Christmas? But it could be about who's winning the division. Now, the NFL went and added a team, so there's 7 teams that make the playoffs
Yeah.
in the NFC. I have no fear at all of us not making the playoffs, but I still want that division. I want a home playoff game. And I think that game is going to be pivotal because we will be fighting for the division. I had us, again, 11 or 12 wins, but I can see Dallas doing somewhat the same thing. I can see us 10, 11, 12. I can see Dallas 9, 10, 11. I still pick us to win the division, but the Dallas Cowboys schedule ain't that scary either. So, we definitely got to see.
So, real quick, bro. I know you got all right. Look, real quick. So, if we beat the Cowboys week 6, all right, week 6. So, would that Christmas Eve, that just say we lose, be like I'm not gonna say a lot better, but like okay, well, we beat y'all week 6, and y'all beat us, on Christmas Eve. I know the next day is Christmas, but at the same time, and we're up in the division. So now we're split with Dallas 1-1. Would you feel a lot better, compared to if we lose week 6 to Dallas and now Christmas Eve is a must win against the Dallas Cowboys team and then we lose again? So it's just one of them scenarios. Like, would you feel better if we win week 6 and, the Christmas Eve game would be nice to have, but we don't get it? So how would you feel about that?
Go BG.
We only can lose one, and I don't think they're gonna sweep us this year. And I'd rather
Yeah,
lose
facts.
the first one. I don't want to lose the day before Christmas. That's even bigger. That's a bigger deal to me. You know what I'm saying? That's going into my favorite holiday. And with a sad face. You know what I'm saying? The kids, Daddy, why aren't you happy? Just open your presents already. That wouldn't be a good day. So I want to see us win that one for sure. And I feel like we can sweep the division like the Cowboys did last year for real. And we put all the pieces together. Everybody take that growth, that next step, man. I think we really can do it. Like, it's a realistic idea.
Yeah, and we talked about this a lot throughout this offseason already. I think a lot of what the Eagles' potential is this season is riding on Jalen Hurts, whether you believe in him
Facts.
or not. I think that, in this league today, right, the quarterbacks make or break the team. We've seen teams be built that a average quarterback can still win with, a la the 49ers and Jimmy G, right? Depending on how Kyle Shanahan runs it, using his backs, using Debo. In many ways, they
Yeah.
got a defense, and sometimes you don't got to have that stout defense. You just got to have that I can never say that word. Y'all know what I mean. The defense that lets you go up and down, but they get turnovers and they get sacks.
Yeah.
With that being said, I think the Eagles are building it that way, but with Jalen Hurts contract coming up, right? Are we going to extend and make a decision? I think this is a very big year. We're not patient as a city and an organization. Howie Roseman is always looking to upgrade that quarterback position. So it's I believe in him. I think that, he's doing everything we're asking for in the sense of where he's trying to learn, right? He's always been with Quincy Avery. He's stepping out a little bit. I think that was the Eagles even, saying we want you to do different things. And then he goes see Tom House, messes with Brady a little bit. He got the connection with AJ Brown. I think that he's been given everything he needs to succeed. And one more year could be still pushing it in the sense of you could think, we need to give him more time, but I think this is the year that most quarterbacks take that leap. And with the tools that he has now,
Yeah.
and just the familiarity in the system 2 years in a row, and you know, being more confident in what he sees in NFL defenses, you got to see the jump. He can't be leaving the pocket, missing deep shots, late on the passes. Like if we see
Facts.
them stay, if the main red flags are there, well, then you start to say, man, we got to figure something out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you just got to do it.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, this is it. But in my opinion, this is it for Jalen Hurts. This is a make or break year. I don't care what BG about to say afterwards because he's like, you know, it's so but I don't care what BG about to say, but this is it for Jalen Hurts because they did give him a bona fide Pro Bowl #1 wide receiver. Even though he's like 6'1", 226, you know what I mean? Everybody's, oh my God, hey, he's only 6'1". Yes, he's a big body. Your big body is not about height, but it's about the way you play and your size, like your weight size, basically. Yo, like he's that aggressive big body that we've been waiting for. Like he's not going to be like To type. No, we saw how AJ Brown plays. All right, so he leads the NFL like the past couple years in contested catches. Yo, this dude is that guy, and when you have a quarterback that's being questioned with his accuracy and stuff like that, you're gonna need that guy to help him out with those, those contested catches. So I'm just saying. So he's that guy. He got Devontae Smith, a guy once again last year. A lot of his catches, I was like, oh my God, how do you do that? Toe tap, heel tap, it doesn't matter. He's going, through the middle, around the middle, it doesn't matter. And Quez Watkins and Goddard, he have weapons to succeed this year. Now, my only question is this: what is a successful season for Jalen Hurts? I just said, hey, we putting up points, and our defense is not holding, their end. Now, what is a successful season for Jalen Hurts? Is he going to get the blame if the Eagles do not have a winning record based on our defensive play?
Go ahead, BG.
Man, Jalen Hurts I'm fine with the situation the way it is. Like, I feel like you guys said, you got to think it's more pressure on him. I think it's less pressure on him. We're surrounding him with familiar pieces. He's going into the first time anybody can ever see Jalen Hurts going to the same offense 2 years in a row. Like, no one's seen that since high school. Like, that alone is going to bring another, skill set out of Jalen Hurts that we haven't seen. Every year throughout college, he got better. He got better. Even after the benching in Alabama, got better in OU. He's been doing this thing. So I think that this is going to be a wake-up call for the NFL with Jalen Hurts, and especially with the weapons he got. He just took pressure off of Jalen. He just took pressure off of Miles. He just took pressure off Smitty. He
Yeah.
just took pressure off of Quez Watkins, Dallas Goddard. Like, that just opened up a whole nother, lane in our offense that I think we're going to be really able to, take advantage of this season.
Yeah, look, again, the glaring red flags of last year, and no matter what people say, the last look of Jalen Hurts was bad, right? That playoff game was not good at all. But throughout the season, you've seen, looking in the middle of the field, throwing it to the left side, staying in the pocket. So we did see some clear progress. He has to just be better, and he has to be more consistent. But if you're ever going to ask for a leap year, it's going to be when you get not only your best friend, but a dominant wide receiver. You're in the system for 2 years in a row. The run game looks good.
Yeah.
Just a lot of things going his way in the sense of, camaraderie and chemistry. So I'm ready to see it. We're going to critique him the way we need to. But I do think that this is but you're right. And same with Eddie. Defense got to come help him out too. And
That's what I'm saying.
we made our moves there as well. So
Yeah.
Jonathan Gannon, Nick Sirianni's not going to have much of an excuse because we've seen him now call a balanced game, right? We can't see him come out and abandon the run again. So I think Sirianni in year 2, Gannon, Hurts, these are all guys that we got to, you really want to know for sure if these are your guys. And I believe Sirianni showed me things. I saw Jalen Hurts showed me things. And right now I'm more worried about Gannon's approach. I felt a little bit better to tail off the season because we mixed in more man. We did certain things, little wrinkles. We played a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage with our corners, but we were also going against the
Bottom
trashness
feeders.
of the trash.
Bottom feeders, man. Come on.
we were going against the the worst of the worst, and it is what it is. But I do believe in Jalen Hurts. If you ask me right now, is he going to show a lot of people? I'm still on the side of yes more than the side of no, but I do know the concerns, and I'm going to be watching them.
But the concerns are like every quarterback had these concerns coming to the league. Like he was still the sixth most productive quarterback ever, in terms of total yards and production, than any quarterback ever, So it's like there's been a lot of quarterbacks come through. I just feel like the Jalen Hurts, whoa, what? Let's see, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? It's kind of over. It's like over the hill a little bit. I feel like this guy's always showed you he's a winner. He's always put it out there, on the field every single year you watch this man play. And the fact that he's going into, like I said, I think the hugest thing is going to be going into the same offense, understanding how defense is going to play him, understand what he missed last year and being able to correct those things this year, and just having better talent around him is definitely going to help his game.
But look, at the same time, look, the people are not wrong. Like, you know why? Hey, the peoples are not wrong. When I say peoples, I mean Eagles fans and haters. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But the fact is this. Somebody brought up, I think it was a Philly Mike or somebody else from my live yesterday brought up, when was the last time a Russian quarterback won the big game?
Patrick
Let's
Mahomes,
think about it.
Russell
No,
Wilson.
he's not a running quarterback.
They're all considered Russian
No,
quarterbacks.
no, they were not. No, they were not. Absolutely false. Russell Wilson, Patrick
Athletic
Mahomes.
quarterbacks.
No.
I think what he's
I
trying to
said
say-
running. Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick.
But Jalen Hurts not Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick either.
He's talking about
He's
a run first. A
run first quarterback. When was the last time a run first quarterback?
Jalen's gonna go to get what he want to get. He can.
You stuck on Jalen. I'm asking you a question. When was the last time a run first quarterback won the big game? So the people out there, Eagles fans and other fans, have a reasonable question. Like, could y'all win the big game with Jalen Hurts being a run first quarterback? That's why the people like, oh my god, Eagles got AJ Brock, was more shocked than more scared. Like, they were more shocked that the Eagles pull off the trade, but it was like, what? Oh wait, they have Jalen Hurts as their quarterback. It's okay. It doesn't matter. So now Hurts had to go out there and start proving that he could throw more than he could run, just like Lamar Jackson did his second year. All off season, hey, he's a runner.
Runs more in their first year. Quarterback. Like,
I hear you.
I'm
not saying that though. I hear you.
Well, I will say this again, and this is why we need to see his arm develop this season. I think he looks to run a lot. I mean, but that was his bread and butter in college too. Pretty much, we want to talk about one read and run. In Oklahoma, it was CeeDee Lamb or run. So that is what he translates into the NFL. But now we're talking about faster guys, stronger guys, quicker guys, better coverage, different coverages. It is what it is. Again, I would just say this to everybody in the chat and that's talking about it too. And I think that running is never a bad thing, right?
No.
We're gonna listen. At the end of the day, 10 years from now, there's not going to be a Tom Brady type quarterback. They're all going to be mobile. They're all going to be somewhat mobile. They're all going to be at least, the Baker Mayfields of the world, the Carson Wentz of the world, like the Big Ben.
Or Steve Young, right? Steve Young wasn't like, a run first, and he barely ran until he had to.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see statues there anymore. Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray. But I think that if you are considered a run first quarterback, like running's always going to help out. I just don't think there's going to be the Matt Ryans and the Peyton Mannings and the Tom Brady's and the Drew Breeses. That's just not how the game is going. But when in doubt, I've seen Jalen Hurts be able to stand in the pocket more at the end of the season than he did to begin the season, and that to me shows progress.
He had to get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? He knew his legs, and people don't realize, but you don't really want him to lose. Like, Jalen's built different than a lot of these other guys, too. Like, you don't see these other guys that are working out with the linemen, lifting 600 and deadlifting 600, 900 pounds. This guy can take it. He's 23 years old. Remember when you're 23? When I was 23, I was out on the football field. I could take as many hits as you gave me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm 23. You know, you got plenty of time. Like yes, year after year after year. You know, yeah, maybe wear on this body like anything else, but for
Well, look
right
at Lamar.
now,
Look at Lamar Jackson now, because now he starting to not be able to stay healthy because of
Yeah.
all the
but Lamar
running.
Jackson really ain't really threw the ball like that. Like that's not his thing. They actually have plays for Lamar Jackson, like power run plays for him set up in the offense. So they really use him as a running back. We don't use Jalen like that. You have to read option.
We did some read option runs with him.
Read option.
10
You
rushing
know,
touchdowns for a quarterback, almost 1,000 yards rushing.
how many of those
Yeah,
were on there like goal line? You know, where Jalen just kept it and scored a touchdown.
I don't know.
But that right, you're right though. But that is Nick Sirianni saying we're calling your number as the rusher.
Yeah,
I think this year's gonna be different. Like I said, he's gonna have a better grasp of the offense. He can
That's
trust the
true.
routes, and I think Nick Sirianni's gonna scheme up some better plays than we've seen last year. You know,
oh
he's his
yeah,
first year
oh yeah,
too.
yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
he's
I
trying to
agree.
be a head coach and offensive coordinator at the same time.
Yeah,
You know, he had to be on both sides of the ball, trying to do his thing. That maybe was a little off. Him and Shane weren't in the right situation. You know, maybe this year they check out what they did last offseason. They come back this year stronger.
Yeah, I can see it. So let's talk about the wide receiver group a little bit, right? So now we got, of course, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins. Last year, Devontae Smith had 900 and what, 15, 16? What was it? Somewhere in
yeah. He
900.
beat the Eagles' rookie record
Yeah.
for receiving,
That was
so he
9-12,
won
right?
that. I think it
And
was
then
like 9-12. He got like a 9-17 or
yeah,
whatever it was.
something around there. And
Yeah,
Quez as a third option. And again, when I say third option,
yeah,
it's not that he was the second most productive receiver on the team, but he got less snaps than Jalen Reagor. And so by that
yeah.
in that conversation, he's the third option in snaps throughout the year. He had 647 yards. So as a third option, 647 is good. Do we see a 1K wide receiver? And if we do, is it AJ Brown? Is it Devontae Smith? Is there a chance that we get two? We haven't had one in almost 10 years.
Go ahead, BG. Hey, go ahead, BG. Go ahead, man.
What did you just say right now? You just said Devontae had almost 1,000, right?
Yeah.
You know, almost 1,000. Now, this is all bearing all the top three stay healthy, obviously. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's like, obviously, they get hurt. That could be another reason why they don't. But Devontae's going to be more open this year. He's going to have a lot more opportunity. And really, to say he dropped some early last year that maybe he could have even, got closer to 1,000 yards. You know what I'm saying? So Devontae's going to get 1,000. AJ always gets 1,000. He would have got 1,000 last year. He didn't get hurt. 3 years in a row, 1,000-yard season, Pro Bowl.
In a rushing offense.
In a rushing offense. So he knows how to get open. And it's just the point. Quez Watkins, what'd you say, 700 yards? You know how open Quez is about to be? With AJ Brown taking most of the coverage, Devontae Smith taking the rest of the coverage, Dallas Goddard in the middle. This fool, he's about to be running, post routes all day long, being wide open. You know what I'm saying? With his speed, those are going to be more like Deshaun Jackson 1,000 yards, where he didn't take that many catches, 59 catches, 60 catches, for 1,000 yards because they're all explosive plays.
Hey, but Quez had 647 last year. He had one touchdown, 647 yards receiving last year. So, I mean, look, I'm not going to jump on the 3K wide receiver, a bandwagon at all. If Dallas couldn't get if Dallas could not get three wide receivers, and they're a passing team, no lie.
Didn't they that 1 year? Didn't they that 1 year? I think they had
who 3 wide receivers over 1K?
No, it wasn't.
No.
The year they had Randall Cobb, Cobb was close to that. He was the third guy, and he was close, but I don't think they had three.
Yeah, and they are a passing team, especially since Dak been, the past 3 years, man. I'm not going to say since he's been there because his first couple of years, y'all going from no 1,008 years to 3. Look. I really think it is possible for at least to get 2 1,000-yard wide receivers. Why? Because teams are going to focus on what? Trying to stop the run. So now, you have, if you Jalen Hurts, you know that fourth pack. I mean, hey, you're a smart guy. I mean, you went to Alabama, OU. You know what I mean? You are a smart guy. You a coach's son. So obviously, your common sense would kick in. If my common sense as an Eagle content creator is kicking in right now, teams are going to try, to stop the Eagles from running the ball. That's common sense. Like, so why not, say, hey, this I have to learn how to throw the ball on time, throw the ball, make these wide receivers open, this and that. So you could have two 1,000 yards wide receivers easy because teams' game plans are going to change coming into this year playing the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's what I got to say about
Yeah, I don't even know. I can't really fully say with confidence too, but I guarantee
that.
we're gonna have a 1K wide receiver.
Yeah.
Again, though, here's the thing,
Yeah.
though. And I'm not mad. Again, I just won it because we haven't seen it, right? But at the end of the day, it all matters is wins. I mean, think about it. The year we went to the Super Bowl, we didn't have a 1K receiver. So I'm just saying, I ain't even mad if we're winning games this way. If AJ has 900, Devontae has 900, Quez has 700, and Dallas has 600 or 700, you're talking about dang near a 4K passer there. That means Hurts would have been 4K, and we have nobody over 1K, but we're sharing the ball. I believe that Devontae Smith is going to be able to work DBs out. Pause. For the simple fact that he goes from his rookie season seeing different coverages shaded his way, CB1s, to now having more one-on-one coverage, and we seen him cook people in one-on-one. There's been games that where as a rookie he would get a little bit of bracket coverage, a little bit of shade his way, and that won't be there. My thing is this, though. Although we are still a Russian team, I believe this season we're going to throw the ball more. I think Nick Sirianni started opening back up at the end of the season. I think we went from no running to way too much running to just right at the end of the season. And I think, that was Nick Sirianni's growing parts throughout this first year of head coaching. So I got the Eagles having one guy, at least with a K. I think there's going to be a lot more passing yards to be had. I think Jalen's going to be better. But again, if Jalen does somehow regress, well, then everybody's going to suffer. But to me, because we haven't said the term 1K wide receiver, I want it. But I really don't care. If we got a Super Bowl with being the third leading rushing team while sprinkling it in. Again, Alshon had like 800. I think Ertz had 1K that year. No, he didn't have 1K that year. But, Ertz had 8,900. Jeffries had 8,900. Smith had 5,600. And Aguilar had 500. Again, 4K, get me there. Jalen Hurts being a 4K passer is my ultimate goal because I think that means you're winning games. So however you want to distribute that 4K is cool, but it would be nice to finally have a 1K wide receiver on the Philadelphia Eagles. I think we will get it, and it might not even be AJ. AJ just might be the reason Devontae gets it, right?
Exactly.
So, we'll see.
But look, since 2014, the Eagles, right? They missed the playoffs that year, by the way. When Macklin had 1,000 yards of receiving, they missed the playoffs. 14, 15, 16, all missed playoffs, by the way. And then we made the Super Bowl in 2017 season with no 1K wide receiver. But also, look, you have to realize, if we got 14 and going into the 2022 season, 8 years, and we're 50-50. Yo, we gonna make the playoffs or not, regardless if we have a 1K wide receiver or not. Like, we do not depend on having a 1K wide receiver. Like, I don't know why people put so much emphasis behind the 1K wide receiver thing. Like to me, it is what it is. Yo, if you're winning games, making the playoffs, who cares? Who cares if you have a 1K wide receiver? What is the big deal behind the 1K? You're balanced. Congratulations. You do not have a number one guy that people could shut down and you lose games. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what it is. You cannot game plan for one person in particular. You have to game plan for the whole Philadelphia Eagle offense, not one guy.
And the only difference is that I think when Carson did it and he didn't get a 1K guy, all of them were like 500 or whatever.
A 500 guy.
Yeah.
You didn't get a 500.
Those were like
that was rough.
Players, third string, fourth string players on that roster, right? That's why everybody gave them the love. Now imagine the guys we have in our top four now. If we spread it out that same way, you can get 2 or 3 of these guys with 1,000 yards. Because they're more explosive players, meaning they're going to get those extra yards that those scout team players weren't getting. They're going to get open that much more than those scout team players weren't getting open.
Oh,
Yeah.
but let me ask you a question real quick. So, would you rather these guys have 1K, AJ, Devontae, Quez, or winning games?
Of course,
I think if they're
this is.
getting
Like,
that, oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Now
I
you
was
can
gonna say,
go.
I think if they're getting 1,000 yards, we're gonna be winning a lot of games.
that's
Yeah.
not facts.
Well, see,
That's not
that's
facts.
my whole thing too. To bring the Cowboys in it, because I see there's Cowboys people in the chat,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
That one year where the year that Carson Wentz with the grocery baggers beat
Yeah.
Dak Prescott in the last game to go to the playoffs, right? That
Hmm.
season, Dak Prescott had over 4K passing yards, right? And I believe, don't quote me, but he had at least one receiver 1K and maybe two
Hmm.
1K receivers that year. What I'm trying to say is
Before 19.
Dallas's offense was still a top 5 offense in the NFL, but somehow it translated to 8-8. I don't want that. And
Yeah.
when we were doing our NFC East roundtable the other day, and they were like, "Are you finally gonna get a wide receiver over 1K?" I said, "I believe we are, but it's not the end all be all, because if you're asking me to have Dak Prescott stats, 4K passing yards, one of the highest scoring teams in the NFL, but then go 8-8. I don't want that. So I'm only worried about winning. And again, winning normally translates to having good stats one way or the other. Last year, we were the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL.
Mm.
I'll take it. I just want to do something great and win games in the process. But as BG said, you would think most of the time, if you're not named the Dallas Cowboys, stats turn into W's, unless you're the Dallas Cowboys. And then stats keep you still 8-8. So with that being said, I want to win games, and that's what we got to figure out. I think the offense is going to be balanced, but we will pass the ball more this season than we did last season, especially in that middle when we were playing the Lions, the Saints. Man, we were throwing the
Yeah.
ball only 18 times. And of course, people are saying because we didn't trust Jalen Hurts. I think that's what the game plan dictated. And at the end of the day, if you're getting beat up during a run, then we're not going to switch it.
Yeah.
But people don't really even talk about that. Even when we had those low passing, like we seen Jalen make some nice passes. Like those are games like, yeah, he didn't throw a lot of balls, but the ones he did throw were nice and completing and scoring touchdowns with them. At the end of the day, you gotta be happy with what you get from that guy. I guess like we all praised him when he didn't have no passing yards really in that Detroit game and still had all those touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Like he's done it a couple times.
Agree.
Yeah. So, would you guys agree that you believe Dallas is the team that we have to be worried about? Like, do you think, or how do you see the division? Of course, us being Eagle fans and liking what we like, we got the Eagles at top, but who do you see second, third, and fourth? I still got Dallas, who I think that by that Dallas Cowboys game, it's going to be close. Dallas is my still biggest fear. I think it's a 2-man race. I think Washington is going to do some cool stuff, but I still think it's going to be Eagles versus Dallas coming down that stretch, who I think they're both going to win double digits. And we're going to figure out mainly that month, that Christmas Eve game, who's going to be gifted the NFC East. That's pretty much what it would be. But who do you got second, third, fourth in the NFC East?
Hey, go ahead, BG. Go ahead, man. You got
Okay,
this.
I'll go. I'm saying the Cowboys 2, Washington 3, and the Giants 4.
That's
But
my
I will
exact
say
order.
this though, I think the NFC East are going to have a better overall conference record than before too. I think they're going to start putting some more respect in our name. The Giants had a really good draft. I'm not going to hate on that. They had a
I
nice
like their coach.
Yeah, they got a good coach going in there, and all Daniel Jones have to do is take a step, I guess. But I don't think he's that good. I don't know. I'm giving them too much credit, but that's why I have them at the bottom. But I'm just saying it's possible that they could win more games. They might be at the bottom with 6 wins or 7 wins.
I'm actually hoping that too. I'm hoping that the worst team in the East still is like a 6 or 7 win team, because I want us, as a collective group, one of the only divisions that have everybody in it with a Super Bowl. But it would be nice to have whoever's number 1 win 12 or 13 games. Number 2, still double digits. Number 3, flirting with 500 or a little over, and number 4 is still a 7-win team. So the worst team in our division might be not even in the top 10 or right around the top, like 10, 11 in the draft and whatnot. So we can't be
Last year,
having what we
what
had
we
the
had
other
two.
year.
We had
When
two in the
watch
playoffs, and then what's the Niners? The West, they had what 3 teams in the playoffs?
Niners, Seattle,
No, they had two.
So
2.
they had 2, so that's 2, and then 2 division winners. That was 6. So yeah, we had just as many as everybody else. There was the division that didn't have but only 1 in there. So we're getting better, and we used to be the dominant division back in the day. It goes up and down. I'm just ready for it to start going
But
back up.
that's
I'm
that,
tired of
and
hearing.
that's one thing I just can't believe that we haven't seen a repeat winner since what? Oh
Oh
three,
three.
oh
Yeah.
three.
Oh
That's just
three.
wild.
The Eagles did it.
And again, for as much as we go back and forth with Giants and Washington and Cowboys,
Yeah.
every single year the team that won it don't win it, and it eventually is going to
Yeah.
change. But right now, the Cowboys got to be looking at it like, damn, we automatically not going to be able to get it now. I know it don't really work that way, but it's just crazy that you're talking about. That's a long sample size. Like not one time in the last what? It's going to be almost 20 years, 19
Yeah.
years. It will be
Man, 19
coming this
years.
season, unless it happens this season. But that's just wild. I can't. I don't think there. No one else has that type of streak. I can almost guarantee. I don't know for a fact, but that's just a long sample size of the division being competitive within each other. It could be ugly competitive or it could be good competitive because we've had years where there was been years where the Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, one year I remember.
this year's and this is the worst time about football though, because we got a long summer. I love this summer, right? Enjoying it with the kids, the family. But man, oh man, I want this season to hurry up because I believe there's so much potential and there's so much I just got to see. I'm excited.
But look, that also shows you how dominant the Eagles were in the early 2000s. Like, 4 straight NFC championship
Yeah,
game, 1 Super Bowl at that time. So, it shows you how, but even that, right? Since 2000, 14 playoffs win. Right now, we're in 2022. Like, only 8 years out of the past 22 years that we did not make the playoffs or win a playoff game. Like you're talking about, yeah, just sign me up. Sign me up because you could be worse. You could be Dallas. 3 playoff wins in the past, 22 season, whatever it was. But it is what it is. But I feel like that this division right here, I hate to say it, but I feel like that the Commander and the Dallas Cowboys is going to be fighting for number 2.
wow.
Because the Commander, yes, Carson Wentz, regardless of what you say, I think he's better than Heineke. I think he's better than whatever a quarterback they had in the past 5 6 years.
I'll give you
He's
that.
an upgrade, and they are always usually in it. Regardless if they start off slow, they finish strong. They start off strong, they finish slow, and whatever it is. But they're always there to be making the playoffs. So I'm just saying, hey, don't be surprised if the Washington come. Wait, is it Commanders? Yeah. So the
Yeah.
Washington Commanders is fighting with Dallas Cowboys, for the second spot in the NFC.
Real quick though, shout out to my guy LT with the 499 super chat panel. Rank the NFC East quarterbacks. That says a lot about who will win the division. Injuries notwithstanding. Good panel. Go Birds. Go ahead. Let's hear it. Who wants to go first? Let's rank these quarterbacks.
He right this quarterback. Look, I go first. You know what I mean? Look, number one, Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? Look, I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? He's more accurate. He's more accomplished than any other quarterback in the division. Regardless if Carson Wentz played in part, and getting us to the Super Bowl, whatever or not. But guess what? He had his chance to go win a playoff game in 2019. And not today. He got knocked out. Concussion out. So we haven't seen Carson Wentz in the playoffs. We've seen Dak Prescott. He made the playoffs 3 times out of past, what 6 seasons. So and he won one of them, but he did make the playoffs and played in all those playoff games. So I would have to rank Carson, Dak Prescott number two. Now this is where it gets tricky. You know what I mean? So I've seen Jalen Hurts play in a playoff game. I have not seen Carson Wentz. So I have to, by that standard, put Jalen Hurts as number two. If you're not available for the playoffs, I can't judge you off of that. You know what I mean? Look, everybody can sneak into the playoffs, but do you play in the game? So let me see you either choke or rise up. And we've seen Carson Wentz, unfortunately get knocked out, but at the same time, it wasn't going great the first couple of series before he got knocked out. But we've seen Jalen Hurts struggle in the playoffs, but at the same time, if you are an Eagles fan, you watched that playoff game, you saw Nick Sirianni play calling was so obvious. Everybody bunched up together. Let's try to run the ball. It wasn't a spread out like anything. So Jalen Hurts is number two, then Carson Wentz, then whoever the quarterback is for the Giants, man, is what it is.
All right, BG, go ahead.
So is this question right now, or is it like who's gonna have a better year this year?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both.
Because I'll say I'm ranking Jalen Hurts, number one in the division. I think his skill set's gonna bring, a different element this next year, and I think he can be better than Dak. Plus, Dak's gonna take a step back, losing Cooper. I really don't think CD Lamb's gonna play as good because Cooper took some pressure off him over there in the Cowboy world. So I think Dak's numbers might drop a little bit this year too as well. So I think going into the season, obviously up to now, career-wise, you got to give it to Dak. He's a better passer right now, but Jalen Hurts will shock the world, be number one this year. And then Dak.
Wait, I'm confused. Wait, is it? I'm confused, man. It was just standing because you like Dak, the Hurts is. I mean, who's your list right now? Because I'm lost. I'm like listening to you. I'm trying to figure out who is your ranking in order. Oh, let's go. Yeah. Oh, see. What's your list, BG? Right now, going into the season, go.
Am I being logical? Who I want, who I
no. Going into the season, who is from 1 to 4? There's only 4 teams, so 1 through 4. Who's your quarterback in order? The best quarterback in the division going to the season.
Jalen, Dak, Carson, and Jones.
Okay. All right. So look, I got Dak Prescott first. He's the most proven quarterback, and I think he's good. I think he's actually fringe top 10. Like you might be able to argue between
12,
10, 11, 12-ish is kind of where I would see him. I don't know exactly. Listen, Carson Wentz, although he failed miserably at the end of the season, I mean 27 and 7 is no slouch.
He's not.
I'm gonna go off again. If we're talking about stats, why it's tough, but I go back and forth with the Wentz Hurts thing for the simple fact that this team won 4 games with Wentz. We don't really upgrade too much. Devontae Smith, we did upgrade. But next you know, we're in the playoffs with 9 wins. Brand new scheme. So Hurts brings winning, and you got to think about everything. I know running is not what you really care about because you want your quarterback to pass, but that's part of Jalen Hurts' game that is better than all of them. And so I can't go off what I think Hurts is going to be. So I'm going to go Dak. 27 and 7 is good. If I'm ranking them, I might have to go Dak, Wentz, Hurts, Jones. But again, I think when we revisit this midway throughout the season, Hurts is going to be better than Wentz this season. I'm 100% believing that. I don't see Hurts just jumping past Dak though. Still, I think Dak is a pretty darn good guy. My thing is, if Jalen Hurts can get in the top 15, top 14, and that's where I think we need him to be. Jalen Hurts gets inside the top 15 quarterbacks, and we gonna win games.
All right. You know
Again,
what? It's
Some
fun.
people had
one
him in the top
check this out.
15.
Check
Yeah.
this out. Check this out. If you're let me redo this. I know I'm twisting LT words, but if I needed a quarterback to play one game, Wentz or Hurts, I'm taking Hurts. But stat wise, Carson Wentz without the intangibles, you know, you could say that they had better receivers. No, not better receivers. I like Michael Pittman Jr. though. 27-7 is no joke. I know he had a run game too, but we had a run game too, even though Hurts was our run game. I just, again, as a quarterback, he only threw for 16 touchdowns. You got to count the 10 rushing too, so 26 touchdowns total. They're close. They're really close. Hurts and Wentz as a quarterback is close. Here's the difference, though. I think Hurts is going to get better. I think we see who Wentz is. Wentz is a guy who had lightning in a bottle one year, and he's still a guy who makes a good throw, makes a bad throw, tries to win the game, and then loses the game. So I think I know who Wentz is. I'm still learning who Jalen Hurts is, and that's why the answer is really tough. If you're talking about ranking the quarterbacks going in, and I'm trying to take my Eagle glasses off, like that's it.
But lucky for you, I don't wear Eagle glasses, right? I'm a common sense guy. Last year, 27-7. It sounds pretty, bro. Hey, BG, it sounds pretty 27-7. But did the Colts make the playoffs? Did Carson Wentz take them to the playoffs? Hell no. So if you're going off of stats from last year, 27-7, it sounds pretty. But guess what? When it came to playing the Jags, the bottom feeding team in the NFL, he choked. He threw 2-3 interception, underthrown, overthrown. It is what it is. But at the same time, he also had the number one rushing guy, the number one rushing, guy
Running
on
back,
his
yeah.
team. So he wasn't asked to do much the whole season. We became the number one rushing team from week 7 on up. So we asked Hurts, like the first 6 games, hey, put us on your shoulder, hey, throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball. So that's what I'm saying. So if you're going off of the 27-7 Hurts, all right, the playoff Hurts. The number one rushing guy, like it's Carson Wentz. So to me, Hurts is better than Carson Wentz from last year. That's because the year before we can't even measure them.
Yeah, but let me just real quick shout out to Philly fans in Florida, and I think we all agree on this. $2 super chat. The
Oh
Giants are
yeah.
last with
Oh
Danny
yeah.
Food stamps under center.
Danny
He's
Food
100% the last guy. My thing
Yeah.
is this, and I'm going to listen to what Philly fan D said here real quick. In all fairness, again, the Colts schedule was a lot tougher, right? And again, we made the playoffs, but they had the same record as us. So if they were in the NFC, they would have made the playoffs too. Or it would have been a coin flip. We would have had to go into the nitty-gritty stats. So the thing is this, so you can't be like, we made the playoffs, they didn't. And you can say that, but you can't poo-poo them for having the same record, just being in a tougher conference and whatnot. They had the first place schedule. We had the last place schedule. But regardless, I think the whole Wentz and Hurts last year is close. But again, now it depends how you're talking about it. If you ask me, would I want Carson Wentz on his team to go into 2022, or would I want Jalen Hurts to go in 2022? I'm taking Jalen Hurts. And as Selena said in here, I believe that we know who all the other quarterbacks are. We know who Dak is, and I think Dak is pretty good. We know who Carson is, and I think Carson is starting to show he's a little bit above average. We do not know. Hurts could be below average or above average, but from everything I've seen, the little pieces, I'm trying to put the puzzle together because that's all we can do. Is I believe that Hurts is going to take that second spot from Wentz. And, if he continues, maybe we can be talking a couple years later, the Dak and Hurts thing. But right now, I can't say that. But
how much total yards did Carson have last year, passing yards?
Someone in the chat let us know, or we can pull it up real quick.
Because I know you're adding the touchdowns together, so you got 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, but the guy had like 4,000 yards total offense for your football team. As an NFL player, yes, he's a quarterback. So as an NFL player, what he produced for the season, he produced more stats, right?
Yeah.
Starting.
You got to factor it in, right? That 700 yards rushing helped us get touchdowns, helped us move the ball. And, if you're a fantasy player, you love Jalen Hurts because he gets you points, which, that doesn't equivalent to the NFL stats like fantasy. But again, I think that the list starts with Dak today. And I think I can go both arguments. If you want to argue Wentz should be number 2 by a little bit, but if you want to argue Hurts, I'm not gonna argue with you. But I just can't say Hurts is better than Dak yet. But I hope to really be starting that conversation sooner rather than later. And if, again, I am a believer in what Hurts is going to do this year with this group of guys. So hopefully we can start the conversation this year.
Yeah, look. Hey, Carson Wentz last year with the Colts had 3,500 yards passing, like 3,563, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, got sacked 32 times, right? He had a 94 passer rating. So yeah, I mean, look, Hurts had what, 3,100 something combined touchdowns. Him throwing and running was 26. Yes, he had 9 interceptions. So I mean, it's one of those things where you can't throw the touchdowns away, right? You can't throw running touchdowns away. You have to factor those in. So him having 10 rushing touchdowns, 16 passing touchdowns, and the 9 interception, 6 of those came in 2 games. I believe against the Cowboys and the Giants, like 3-3, whatever. His 2 worst games. So if I'm just saying, but a 3,500, 3,100, 27 touchdowns, 26 total. I mean, it's just one of them things. But it's very close, like you said. But if we go off of last year, I'll take, a guy that get me to the playoffs, at least give me a chance to win another Lombardi than a guy that can get me into the big game.
Hey, shout out to Seth Rowe with the $5 super chat channel member. My guy, he said, Mike had it on point. I would take Hurts for the future over Carson. But right now, Wentz does have a MVP caliber season on his resume, and that's over.
He didn't win it.
By 2023, Hurts will leave Wentz behind. Yeah, but
Yeah,
if we're also
I
again,
agree.
you can definitely factor in that, wow, look what Carson Wentz was. So maybe if you are a Carson Wentz fan, I know Washington Commander fans are thinking, can we get something like the 2017-18 Carson Wentz? But again, I think what we saw of Carson Wentz after that season is more who he is. And that's why I would say the same way. If you're asking me, all right, you got A.J. Brown, this offensive line, that run game, Devontae Smith, Nick Sirianni's your head coach. Do you want Carson Wentz to be your quarterback for this upcoming season or Jalen Hurts? I'm not hesitating. I'll say I'm taking Jalen Hurts. But then when you ask me who's the better quarterback ranking going into the season, that's where it gets tricky. So, for me to be fair, but now, we at the bar drinking, the Eagles are the best and they can never lose. We're going to Super Bowl, all that good stuff. You know what I mean?
No, until proven otherwise.
There it is.
It is what it is. But I think, as LT said in the first super chat, a lot of us, besides BG, because he believes it hurts the most, probably out of anybody, is that we all are still saying that our season is pending Jalen Hurts. But I do believe that, it's going to be a 1-2 race, the Eagles and unfortunately the Cowboys. And I think, I think the NFL knows that, right? That's why they got us scheduled for Christmas Eve. Fan bases that hate each other. I think a tight race with the opportunity, whoever wins that game probably takes control of the division at that and runs away with it. It's going to be epic.
And probably in the other one season. It could happen because remember when we ended the Dallas Cowboys season on Thanksgiving?
Yeah,
we beat them. So on Thanksgiving, their season was over with because we already beat them the game before, So it may be. This might be the exact same thing where we beat them week 6, and then if we win on Thanksgiving on Christmas Eve, that's it. We got the division wrapped up, and for the next a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's crazy because as Corey just said, we got 5 primetime games, and that goes to saying there's 11 teams that all have 5 primetime games. If you look at them 11 teams, all the teams that made the playoffs. besides the Pittsburgh, I always keep saying the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't make it. They did. I forgot.
They did.
But with that being said, we're included in the top 11 teams, and actually, what 7 teams from each conference makes the playoffs now, right? So really, 14 teams made the playoffs. 14 teams made the playoffs, and 11 of them got primetime games. So there's still 3 teams who made the playoffs, because some people were saying you only got it because you made the playoffs, blah blah blah. Well, no, there's 3 teams that made the playoffs that don't get the 5 primetime games, and I put that on Twitter. I was like, Eagles got 5 primetime games for a reason. The NFL know what's about to happen. And that tweet went off. Like, it's like been
that's Cowboy fans hate it.
I spent the whole day Friday and some of them I just don't even acknowledge, right? If you got no default picture and you got like 1 follower, you're only in there to try to start trouble, right? It's probably a burner account, whatnot. But I was going back and forth, and I love doing it. Like, people think I don't get mad. I enjoy it. I enjoy it to the fullest. But I really do believe, there's a reason the NFL put us Christmas Eve prime time against Dallas, and there's a reason we got 5 primetime games.
Jalen Hurts going for his MVP, baby.
You and Ant said that in here too. You said MVP. Mark my words for Jalen Hurts, and I've heard you say that on your live streams as well. Skeletor with the $5 super chat. JC speaks the truth. Eagles 17-0 until proven otherwise. Super Bowl, go Birds.
Hey, look. That's birthday. Hey, appreciate the $5 super chat, but look, that is BG31, man. Like, I'm the type of guy, ain't nobody going undefeated. There's a reason
why it can't happen again.
The Miami Dolphins, in 82 or what? And what was it? Like the Miami Dolphins was the last team to go undefeated for a reason. The Patriots had the best chance back in 2007, and the Giants beat them in the Super Bowl. So it's really hard. So I don't believe we will see in my lifetime any team go undefeated.
Happen again, right? Because in the season, they went 16-0 that season.
It doesn't matter. Man, the season doesn't matter, man. Like, you have to. No, a perfect season includes the playoff run in the Super Bowl.
He didn't say perfect season. He said 17-0 until proven otherwise, baby. Okay. I mean, we want every game on our schedule.
So you would rather go 17-0 and then lose in the first playoff game?
I'd rather lose nothing. I'm just saying we're gonna go.
What is what I'm saying? So a perfect season to me is finish it off. You know what I mean? You 17-0, 18-0, 19-0, and then winning the championship 20-0.
Yeah,
I take it.
Perfect season.
Another game at it, so it just makes it a little bit harder. Shout out to LT dropping another super chat. He said the key is Miles Sanders. We need to talk about him after this.
Yeah.
If our run game can stay healthy behind our O-line, our play action and zone reads have an impact, and Jalen it will help him definitely develop. Appreciate the super chat, and I agree. Miles Sanders has to have a breakout season. But let me ask you guys this: I didn't see much regular play action last year, and that low key bothers me. I think, again, remember, it took us half the season to even call plays from the single back set, like at the line of scrimmage. We were in shotgun way too much. We ran too many zone reads. We weren't playing a traditional offense. I think, again, with the run game as impactful as it was last year, the fact that Jalen could run, the fact that teams are going to try to sell out and stop our runs, and we got weapons on the outside now. Play action is just going to help much, much more for Jalen's development. But Miles Sanders, is he an Eagle pass this year?
Yes.
He gets a contract throughout the season or in the
offseason.
Season.
Top running back money, no. But he's gonna get he's gonna get a raise, yeah.
Look, I think that Howie Roseman. All right, so my real question is, if we get rid of Miles Sanders, who do we see on the Eagles as a franchise running back? Gainwell, Boston Scott, bring back Jordan Howard, like this undrafted free agent? No, Miles Sanders is a franchise running back. I don't care what anybody says. I watched him play in Penn State. He's good. He is good. But last year, He ran for almost 1,000 yards and not get one touchdown. I blame the coaching. You know why? Because once we get into the freaking end zone, then you want to throw the damn ball like first and goal and throw the ball 4 times and get no points. We saw that against the 49ers. Quez Watkins, a 90-yard bomb from Jalen Hurts, right? We get to the red zone, we throw, and the Philly debacle. Like, you know what I mean? It was one of the worst, like, 4 plays I've ever seen as an Eagle fan watching it. Like, it was horrible. So
I
we
was
can't
pissed. I
blame,
was pissed.
like, for real. Like, a 90-yard bomb, the longest, and matter of fact, hey, those of you who are hating on Jalen Hurts, he had the longest passing play this past season in the whole NFL, by the way. I'm just saying. But look, regardless, we got into the red zone. What? Throw, throw debacle, throw, turnover, block, punt, and whatever, the block field goal. It was horrible. So, like, as much as I want to say, Miles Sanders, he can't stay healthy, but even when he was healthy, we wasn't using him the right way. So I feel like he is a franchise quarterback, a running back, and he will be signed before the season starts to a contract extension. Remember, this is his last season. There is no fifth year option. He wasn't a first round pick, he was a second round pick. So he has no fifth year option, so he has to get paid this upcoming seasons. And if we know Howie, just like he did last offseason, Mariota, um, a Josh Sweat, like these guys, he signed before the season started in case they had a big year. So, in my opinion, because we don't have a starting caliber franchise running back on the Eagles, that Miles Sanders will get extended. Maybe 3, 4 years, 45 million with 20 million guaranteed. Hey, I can see that happening. Just saying. You heard it first. You heard it.
What?
You heard it right.
So and you believe he'll be here too, right? You said BG.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. BG, yeah.
Miles Sanders, he just got to stay healthy, man. I think if he has another year like last year, though, where he's like missing games consistently throughout the season, because we did figure out after he got hurt that first time when he came back how to use him. You started to see him trying to pick up pace before he got hurt again. So it's just like I think his main thing is health. If he does, like I said, I don't think he's going to be like a top 5 paid running back, no. But I think you need to work a little bit harder, do a little bit more to get that kind of contract. And from the last 5 years, they're probably just gonna give him a nice, top 10 running back contract, and he'd be good with it. It'd probably only be like 2, 3 years, so he can get another extension if he does
Yeah,
continue to perform.
yeah. My take on Miles Sanders before we get to the super chat is pretty much that this would be the year you try to extend him for the simple reason
Yeah.
that what is he really arguing? Well, I did this for you. He missed games. He didn't score a touchdown. Now, the 10 touchdowns from Jalen Hurts definitely impacted it, right? That year that
Big
Cam
time.
Newton was getting all them touchdowns, Jonathan Stewart, who was a good running back, his
Yeah.
numbers fell. But to have zero, that just
Yeah,
blows my mind because Gainwell was able to snag 1 or 2 touchdowns. With that
he
being
get
said,
high.
you for real,
Yeah, but that's not.
receiving. He had some receiving. I'm talking about rushing.
Yeah,
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 Gainwell
Russian. Yeah, he had a
was
few.
yeah, he had a few, but he also had a couple of receiving. So I think maybe 2 or 3, 2 rushing, 3 receiving, something along the lines. Don't quote me. But if you go to Miles Sanders, if I'd be okay going to Miles Sanders and saying, look, we're gonna make you somewhere 15th overall, top, inside 15 to top 10. I think that
Hmm.
can get it done. But we've seen in this NFL that running backs that do get paid, it kind of makes the wrong decision because the best years of a running back is going to be in their first 5. We've seen it with Christian McCaffrey. We've seen it with Zeke. The wear and tear and what goes on to these guys. So I love Miles Sanders. I believe in the upside. I think he's going to have I keep saying he's going to have a good season. It has to happen
right.
sooner rather
Every
than
year.
later. But I'm not sure. I do not know where the Eagles sit with Gainwell, Scott, on the roster. We picked up some other people. I'm okay with drafting a running back almost drafting a running back every 2 years. Just draft one every other year for the simple fact that it's more of a committee. We were at our best when we had 3 different running backs that we used in different ways when it was Corey Clement, Jay Ajayi, and LeGarrette Blount. But Raw Rebel with the $5 super chat said, y'all Eagle fans, oh, wow, okay, we got some haters. All Eagle fans are getting worse than Cowboy fans. Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback. Y'all not winning this division. Washington is. Okay, well,
We're not getting worse, but we actually
for
make it to the playoffs consistently.
so we got all right. So Washington fan said we're getting worse. We're getting worse than the Cowboys, right? We're getting worse than the Cowboys because we believe in a team that put together a strong offseason while already making the playoffs. Hold on, let me just think about something. The Eagles make the playoffs first year of all the important pieces: DC, OC, coordinator, coach, quarterback. First year, new regime. After winning 4 games, we win 9. And after winning 9 games, we upgrade at many positions we needed to. And somehow we're not allowed to think we can win more than 9 games. Y'all need to just go back and listen to what y'all were saying about Carson Wentz and remember that before you come up in here. I appreciate the super chat. And listen, I'm all about the trash talk. I don't like when people time. I don't like when people time people out. I want the trash talk. Listen, if you are a Cowboy fan and a Washington, you're not supposed to like us. I actually look at you weird if you do like us. We don't like you. Y'all don't like us, and we gonna talk about it. But at the end of the day, we can say all we want today. There's going to be a time where somebody's proven right or wrong, and I'm gonna be here for it. So appreciate the donation. I read it like at first I was just like, I thought it was like a positive one, and I was like, whoa, this man talking crazy, but it is what it is, Listen,
But real quick, before you move on, go ahead.
Now I was gonna say, wherever you're watching this, hit that like button. Again, all you gotta do is exit out the live chat, hit the like button, Raw Rebel. Be the one to hit the dislike button. I don't care. Hit something. Let me know what you think, and we greatly appreciate it. Also, if you don't know who all the other people on this panel, all you got to do is type in their name in the search bar. You see it right down to the left of each of them. Burgang31, type it, he'll pop up. JC Sports Talk, type it, he'll pop up. And Philly Talk Podcast. There's too much to write, so I just put PTP. With that being said, leave a like. It helps a lot, and we greatly appreciate even the haters. We come in, let us know. Let us know how you feel. But go ahead, JC. What were you saying?
But I want to say, with Miles Sanders not having 0 touchdowns last year, I mean, like, who's to blame? I mean, this dude almost had 1,000 yards. He probably was about 70 yards short of 1,000 yards. He had a couple games over 100 yards rushing. So whose fault is it? I mean, because you said that, hey, Jalen Hurts did take away from his touchdowns. I understand, but Boston Scott had touchdowns. Gainwell had touchdowns. Jordan Howard had touchdowns. So you're starting running back. Your franchise running back that you drafted in the second round to have no touchdowns and almost 1,000 yards. Who is to blame? Like the play calling, the coaching is like, I'm just confused. BG, like, who's to blame?
You blame all of it last year. It was all a learning process, man. That was weird. That's not something normal. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's not going to happen again. I don't see it even being possible for it to happen again this year. Miles Sanders going to get his touchdowns this year. And you got to blame more just the whole way it was flowing because, some of those options, Jalen Hurts could have gave it to him. He could have scored a touchdown. He would have had some touchdowns on the board. And some of them, Jalen wanted to be a young quarterback and score, build his hype up. Those stats for him. He got to put respect on his name as well. So I think Miles will be good like this year. And I think he's going to get re-signed, man. I really do. He's a beast, man. Like you said, Mike, we've been waiting every year. Like, this is going to be the year Miles Sanders goes to the Pro Bowl and shows everybody, And it's always good to have a committee, but it's always better when you have a lead back that you can put everything on. And I think Miles will still be that guy. He's still pretty young.
Yeah, I really do like. Again, if you got that one good guy who can do it all, it's cool. But just know that if you draft him and he becomes the Alvin Kamara, the Christian McCaffrey, the Jonathan Taylor, the Derrick Henry, although he does it in a bigger bruiser type way, if you get that guy who can do a little bit of everything, just know that you're only going to have him for 5 years because when the time comes to pay him, you're going to have to make him the highest paid running back or he's going to walk. And that has not been a recipe for success for anybody. I don't care if we drafted, if I had Derrick Henry on this roster, 5 years, I'm going to love him. It's going to be hard for me to try to resign. It's going to be hard for me to argue to resign him back because he might have some more good years left in him, but they're not going to be as good as the 5 he had already. And someone that good is not going to take top 5. You're going to have to, listen, this is the way this world is. Amari Cooper wasn't the best wide receiver when he got paid that $20 million and he was the number one in the NFL. He wasn't the best, but he was top 5-ish, top 7, top 8. So you got to pay them the number one because it's just resetting the market. So if you get just say Kenneth Gainwell was just surprising people. We got him in the fifth round and he's a steal. He's top 5 running back in the NFL. Well, loved it why we had you because 4 years from now, you got to make him top paid. And I don't think that position, although it's unfair, it's not there. I think the committee is good, but I don't even need to go 3 backs. I love it when you have a Kenneth Gainwell back and you have a LeGarrette Blount style back, right? Kenneth Gainwell, Jordan Howard, although I think Jordan Howard is falling apart slowly but surely. I think when he's in the game and healthy, he's productive, but that stinger keeps coming around every other year and we can't afford it. But if you had a Jordan Howard type and a Kenneth Gainwell type, to me, that is all you really need. And again, the offensive line makes or breaks things. They're opening up lanes. I can get 5 yards without being touched in that type of offensive scheme with Stoutland and them guys. But let me ask y'all this real quick.
He's a bigger back too. I'd rather see him develop and try to get into this mix too. You know, I'm not a big guy on Howard. I think he's done.
I think he's done too.
I don't want to see him again in the Eagles uniform.
Wow.
You know, he has now back-to-back 6. You know, all these weeks not playing, not helping the team with a stinger. It's like maybe it's just your body not, telling you something because you need them. When you see them go out there and have those 2-3 big games, you want to see that again the next week. And then remember that time Miles Sanders came back, so you're like, oh yeah, you're about to get thunder and lightning. Miles Sanders, Howard, and then Howard goes down, and then you're like, what? You're not seeing it, so it's just leaving you disappointed. Let him go.
So talking about the offensive line, and somebody asked, I think it was Rob 350 about the right guard position, right? Do you see the young rookie redshirting? The guy we drafted to be center, Jerrigan, do you see him redshirting and just really being behind Kelsey or that? Or do you see him still working with Kelsey as the future center, but sliding in at right guard at times? Or who do you got playing right guard?
I see Samalu playing right guard because last year before he got injured, he was playing a very, very good last year. But look, we all know, we all Eagle fans. Look, there's no red shirt in any offensive lineman. There's no red shirt in be ready to play because we all thought Landon Dickinson, he would have been red shirted, right? Coming off a torn ACL in the SEC championship game. Who would have thought that he would have been ready to play this upcoming season? This past season, nobody. But he played at a high level. So I'm just saying with Cam Jurgen, that I don't see him playing center, but I do see him playing right guard. If Samalu is not ready to play, I do see him, just getting plugged into that position.
Yeah, all facts. Sam Mullins definitely should be the starter. He's good enough to start. He should be the starter. And I think the plan was last year is to develop that center that you draft high. And I think this year, with him coming back, as long as he can stay healthy, that's what you do. You make sure, because Kelsey's done after this year. I don't see him coming back another year.
Yeah.
And you make sure.
Never know. Nah, he's done. He's done.
100% the role. You can plug and play him in next year. You know what I'm saying? Because he'll be practicing with the guys in the background anyway, so you'll be able to plug and play that guy.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Jerrigan sees the field necessarily unless somebody goes down, and the only time he'll really, play center is if Kelsey, and Kelsey just been a machine. But I can see, I can see Isaac starting. I like Isaac, right? Some people are
Mhm.
down on him. To me, it's always
Yeah.
been like this. Isaac Seumalo has always been the weakest link. But when you look at the offensive line, it was JP, Hall of Famer to his left, Kelsey, Hall of
Yeah.
Famer to his right, opposite side, Brandon Brooks, who's an all-pro when healthy, and Lane Johnson. So, of course, being the worst offensive lineman in that group is not a bad thing because you could still be a B plus, B minus player and be the worst one because they're all A plus pluses. With that being
Yeah.
said, I like Isaac slotting in at the guard position. He's versatile. He can play center. He can play left guard. And then you got Driscoll as well. Driscoll can play
Yeah.
as
Got by
well.
Driscoll.
We let Herbig go. But I still also think that if Jurgens needs to, if you're talking about Driscoll and Isaac both go down, I like Jurgens there. And although he's a little light like Kelsey, he got that, he reminds me of Kelsey. But when you have Kelsey to the left, who's the little big dog, and you got Lane to the right, I think that right guard position is easy to play. We saw
It
Herbig play
is
center and get folded. But then
horrible.
when he slotted into right guard, he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And why?
Yeah.
Because Kelsey to your left, Lane to your right, they're gonna pick up slack for you. And so I agree with you guys. Isaac and Driscoll look to be like I really low key like Driscoll as that swing guy, a guy that can come in and fill the spot. But that left side,
I like Driscoll
that
more
left
at
side is just
tackle.
you like him at tackle.
More at tackle when he comes. Yeah, I liked when he came in for Lane Johnson. I think, his body. I don't know. Whenever I see him as guard, he just don't fit it. Like I feel like Herbert looked like a guard, like a big old hog in the middle at the guard spot. When he went out there, he kind of reminded me of some football players I played with. But Driscoll kind of looked like a tackle playing guard, and not saying that he didn't play good, but he played pretty good. But I'm just saying I think he needs to stay over there at the tackle spot.
Yeah. But like I said, so we talked about a lot of things on here. We've been up going for an hour and 20. We about to, got 10 more minutes. Again, we got a lot of people in the chat still. Hit that like button wherever you're watching it. Subscribe to all 3 channels. They're all right there, listening in front of you. You got any topics y'all want to touch before we get out of here? Anything that you think that is going overlooked in the Eagles off season? What we're gonna do? This, that, and the third.
Well, let's talk about the linebacker
That's
position
what I was going to
because
say. The linebacker.
because we already knew. Hey, last year, throughout the season was one of the worst group like in the whole NFL. We got Eric Wilson. In the offseason, it was oh my god, yo, he's coming from a Jonathan Gannon system, 100+ tackles, and he turned out to be like missing tackles, like basically like a flyby. Like nobody knew where he was at. So now we got Kaiser White, N'Kobe Dean, Hassan Reddick, TJ Edwards, one of our best run stopping linebackers last year. I mean, who do y'all see starting? And do you feel like we're gonna run a more 3-4 or a 5-2 because of those linebackers that we got this offseason in the draft?
Go ahead, BG.
Man, I think we're going more 5-2, and like you said, Reddick, N'Kobe Dean, and Kaiser White's going to be your starters. TJ
Damn, he throwing TJ Edwards to the
going to be your
side.
rotational linebacker, and that's great for a rotational linebacker. He's good. You know what I'm saying? That's what they brought him back for another year to be that insurance policy in case Dean's not ready. And I think those 3 boys are going to do it. We're going to run more of a 5-2, like what Avery's ran last year. It's more of a sub package. With Reddick, it's going to be more of a mainstay, but we're going to switch it up all year. We got personnel on the D line and the linebacker core to switch it up the whole year. So I don't think we're going to come out and have one solid, main floor. I think we're going to always switch it up depending on what team we play.
Yeah, that does sound like the linebacker core that will make the most impact. N'Kobe Dean is just, I think he's going to be a big time playmaker on this team. He's going to lead the defense. I'm not going to poo-poo on what TJ Edwards did last season. I think he was our clear front runner. And Davion Taylor, every time he plays, I see things come out of him. I'm like, hey, Davion might be all right, but then he gets injured, right? So how can he stay on the field? That is his number one goal, is to learn how to be healthy. There's just guys that come in here who can never, it's so unfortunate when guys get hurt, but as you get hurt, the second time, and the third time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you got to start questioning, well, is he ever going to be available? With that being said, I think that Reddick got to be used as much as possible at going after the quarterback. But if you got Kaiser White, who I think is going to be one of our best linebackers in defending tight ends, running backs out the backfield, dropping back in coverage, because we do play a lot of zone. So I like Nakobe Dean, White, and Reddick, but I would love to see what's it called? I would love to see Davion Taylor come into the game, be able to impact it, right? Like maybe he just can't be that linebacker that plays full time. We tried to, and maybe he's hurt. If he can come in sparingly, because he's still a 4.3 guy, he's fast. So you saw him chase down Lamar Jackson his rookie season. If you could if you can put him in a role where he comes in on certain downs and just impacts the game. Same with TJ Edwards. He's probably still one of our best run stoppers, right? TJ Edwards, probably. I think that you just have a linebacking core that can rotate. Fresh bodies, fresh legs will pay dividends in the fourth quarter. So I'm all for rotating the linebackers. But I think when you have two guys as talented as White, Dean, and Reddick, they're going to get the majority of the snaps.
And don't forget Kerryon Johnson. The other draft pick we picked up, man, that dude from KU.
Kyron, he's fast.
Beast.
He's
He's
a
put some
beast.
top linemen on their butt all, Senior Bowl weekend, man. That guy look like he can bring something to the team, you know what I'm saying? He seemed really happy to play for us. And like I said, that's just more depth. Training camp's going to sort it out, I want to just have a linebacker squad that have some kind of respect behind their name. Like back in the day when we had the Trotters and those guys, you know what I'm saying? People feared the linebackers back then. And I think, with the players that we have, we would definitely be a lot better. Like you said, last year we were the worst linebacker. And that's the reason why I think a lot of people give Edwards more love than I really think he maybe should get. It's just because he was the best linebacker on our team. You got to think this guy wasn't even starting in the beginning of the season. You know what I'm saying? They had Wilson in there starting. They had Singleton in there starting. Yes, it was a spark seeing that these so-called better players are not making the plays. So it was good to see him get in there and actually be the one to make plays. But at the end of the day, he was really like the only main linebacker making plays for us. So I think we give him a little bit more hype. Kind of like the Greg Ward thing. Like Greg Ward's just great receiver. He's not really that great. That year that everybody put the respect of Greg Ward's name, he just was the receiver catching all the balls. Everybody else was dropping them all season long. So we gave him a little bit more love because we're like, hey, at least this guy's catching it. We can rely on him. We're going to him, Greg Ward, to catch the ball. So I just think.
I'm not even gonna lie, man. Like, I see us running more of a 3-4 because of the talent at linebacker. Because there's no way you could keep TJ Edwards out, man. Even though last year he was our best run stopping linebacker, there's no way you say, hey, Kaiser White, you start Dean, a rookie, you start in Hassan Reddick, and leave your best run. At least you know what you have in TJ Edwards. He knows the system. So if I'm looking, like, I'm seeing a more of a 3-4, meaning that Hassan Reddick will be more of a Russian linebacker than him dropping into coverage. So that's how I see it going.
Yeah. So if you play that 3-4 style and you slide everything down, so then it's Sweat on one side, Hargrave, Fletch, Reddick as a stand-up pass rusher, and then you still have Nakobe Dean, Edwards, and Kaiser White on the field. So now you got four linebackers, three defensive linemen, with Reddick being where Brandon Graham would be, but a stand-up joker position. And again, I think that, listen, if that's the case, you got to let BG be that rotational piece, right? I still love him. I think he got a lot of gas left in the tank, but that also can extend his career. If you got Sweat starting on one side, Reddick as the joker linebacker who's now going to rush the passer on that side, then you're rotating BG. Derek Barnett comes in, and although we don't like him, I think as a rotational piece to help keep these guys fresh, it's not too bad for what we paid for him. And then Hargrave, Milton Williams, Fletch, and the big dog Jordan Davis, rotate that to where it's not like Jordan Davis is going to be a backup and only play once in a while. I think that if you could keep Fletch and Jordan Davis's snaps equal, I think that it's going to just work in a sense that fourth quarter, offensive line is tired, and guess who gets to eat? A fresh Fletcher Cox, not a tired one, not a Fletcher Cox that Jonathan Gannon got out there in defense defending a running back, right?
Right.
So all that being said, I agree with you. But if Reddick can slide down and we can get a 3-4 looking like that, then it keeps all. You got the guy who can guard the passing because you're white. You got the run stopper, and you got the all around weapon X. Let me not put him that hard, but I think the Kobe Dean
No,
about to be
hey, ain't no
something.
weapon
I
X.
can't do it. I can't do that yet. I can't do that yet. But listen, the
He
Kobe
gonna
Dean
ball.
man, chip on his shoulder.
He gonna ball. I know
Like the
that.
only thing is, like, I'm still confused about his whole pec strain, pec injury. Like,
Yeah,
does anybody know what's going on with that? Like, because
Howie
why
vision.
would you drop off the top 10, like out of the top 10 to a third round, pick number 81, 83, whatever he was? I mean, why? Something is not adding up to me. So, if anybody know, like, is he really injured? Was it a sabotage? I mean, did somebody was hating on him because hey, he's a little short, whatever it is, to play linebacker? What was the reason why he slid out of the top 10, top 15, all the way to the third round to the Philadelphia Eagles? Like, there has to be something. Like, I
Analytic.
refuse to believe all these teams, all these smart guys that get paid to scout up players say, you know what? Nope, 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 nope 83 times.
Short arm. It was a quarter inch shorter than the average linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Like little stupid stuff like that. This man won linebacker of the year. Okay, on one of the best defenses ever. And all of
Yeah.
those players that win the first round all say that he was the leader of our defense. You know? So it's like, how can you not see that? You know, what people are tripping. Like
yeah,
N'Kobe Dean was a beast at Georgia. He's gonna be a beast on the Eagles. And the fact that he slept that far, I'm happy. And now we're gonna get a dog. He's gonna come out there, you know what I'm saying? He's not getting all that cash right up front like he would have. We would have picked him 15th or 18th or something like that, you know? So he's gonna have that huge chip on his shoulder to, show team that you really messed up not picking me. I was the best linebacker. And not the fact that he dropped, slipped because of that pick thing, and there was no linebackers picked. Like there was a lot of linebackers picked ahead of him. So he's gonna want to make sure that he is better than every last one of those linebackers that came out before him. And I think he can do it.
yeah, man. I just can't believe 83, 83.
Right. That's
Um,
what Yeah, I mean, it's shocking to me, but I'm not sure what it was, but something fishy happened, and I'm pissed off for him, and I'm happy for him at the same time because he fell to the right place. We haven't had a linebacker that we've been talking about like this. Probably, but Jordan Hicks was pretty good. Michael Kent was pretty good, but there wasn't no Kobe Dean. Like
yeah,
Mhm.
there wasn't this guy. Like the last guy, maybe Jeremiah Trotter. That was probably the last guy compared to all these little guys that I'm having. But I know we about to end pretty soon. But the DB and the safety position, are we good or not? I know BG. We talk about it. You might be okay at whatever position, but are we good at CB2 and safety, or do you see Howie Roseman one last trick in the bag, you know what I mean, and go and get James Bradbury?
Well, go ahead.
you can go first.
Well, I think we could be good, but of course, I'd rather if we can get somebody that's an upgrade like Bradbury, like Kyle Fuller, or one of these other Patrick Peterson, even like the best deal that we can get out of all these free agent corners that are still left out there. If we can get that to upgrade the position, but I really feel like if you got 8 cornerbacks, like we got 8 cornerbacks right now that we don't even know how good they are for real, for real. Like all of them are, a lot of them are young. You got the trade Tay Galvin, the Vincent Juniors. You know what I'm saying? The guy that we got from the Colts. You got Josh Jobe this year from Alabama, rookie. I know it's an
Yeah,
undrafted free agent, but everybody thought he was going to get drafted. You have that dude, that Mario Goodrich, that we gave all that money
yeah,
to.
good
You
rich.
know what I'm saying? Like, these are, like, I understand. Like, I feel like 2 out of 3 cornerbacks that you know what you got, and Slay. Slay had his best year last year. I could see him getting better this year from the confidence, the way he plays and whatnot. Maddox had his best year. He just got paid. I could see him playing better this year. At that third corner, that nickel cornerback slot. So you got 6 people. All you have to do is find a serviceable one out of those guys you got, like 8 of them. Like if they were playing all the time and we just seen these guys getting burnt left and right, then I could be like, yeah, all of them need to go. But what kind of player personnel do you have where you got a position, you're looking to fill one position. All those guys were big body corners, which we need. We like the big body corners, what I'm saying, with some speed. So it's like, if you can't find one, one got to come out of the bunch, or your your player personnel sucks. If you got 8 cornerbacks over there, not one of them can play one position. Like, that's how I feel about that. And with the safeties too, is a little bit, there's still a couple of good safeties out there. And we upgraded good, but at the same time, you got guys you want to see. What is Kayvon going to be with extended playing time? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What would Epps do with extended playing time? He played good last year. You know what I'm saying? Even rotating those 2 players at the other position opposite, Anthony Harris, we got a couple of other ones too that we picked up at the end of last year too that were safety. So it's like, you got the bodies, you got to get at least 2 players. Like, those are the only 2 positions left, second corner and safety. Like, that's it. And the rest of our team, you got to say we have legit players at all the spots.
Yeah.
It's done. So you tell me, you got to be able to get 13. You got 13 in there, plus you got the rest of the offseason to teach these guys. You should be able to pull out 2. You know what I'm saying? Just 2.
Yo.
Yeah, I agree. But real quick, the Chiefs point, he said, what makes us all believe Dean is going to pan out? Well, there's a couple things. One, his intangibles are top notch. The dude is very smart.
Yes.
Very smart. He literally not only is the leader of their defense, but he calls out plays. Jordan Davis talked about it, how he gets them right where they need to be. And he's just a guy who's a rocket, side to side, east to west. He's able to hunt down running backs and track them down, and he's patient. His problem via scouts was that with his body frame, it'd be hard to fight off, one head-to-head offensive lineman. But here you go in a scheme. And again, Dean, other places, there might be that concern, but with guys like Jordan Davis and Fletch who eat up bodies, this is the type of person he's to play behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone said that Dean's effectiveness of blitzing and be able to read where the running back is going to go, which he does that, his IQ is off the charts. But the reason he's able to get between the offensive lineman and make to secure the tackle is because Jordan Davis. Well, guess what? He gets drafted in the same place Jordan Davis is. He's now going to play his career behind a guy where I believe Jordan Davis' ability to rush the passer is going to be slept on, and he's going to be really good at it. But even if he's more of the run stopper, when he takes up 2 bodies, Nakobe Dean is now tied with the guy that made him win or helped him win the Buckus Award, the whatever that word is called for the best linebacker in college football. So, I mean, he couldn't ask for a better situation coming into the NFL with a guy who's going to eat up bodies and let Nakobe Dean be exactly who he wants to be. Now onto the cornerback position. Man, I swear to God, I will forgive. I'm already on to forgive Howie everything, but if he gets me James Bradbury, listen, I mean, I shout out to Big Play Slay because I talked about that yesterday in my video along with the score prediction or record prediction. Slay with the eyeball emojis, the double checking what's going on. James Bradbury. I think that CB1 James Bradbury is just a quality guy. You talk about CB2 James Bradbury, and I think he's a standout player and a difference maker. Although we've been looking at CB2 and safety, I think that if you ask me right now what I want more, I'm taking a CB2 over a safety. I think that is more important.
Yeah, facts.
I think if the cornerbacks are so good, the safety jobs are going to be easy, right?
Easy.
And it starts with the pressure made up front makes the ball come out quicker. Which if the ball comes out quicker, cornerbacks got to cover less. If the ball comes out quicker, cornerbacks got to cover less and they're on their hip, well, then the safeties don't got to double, right? The safety's job is only to really double, help them in the middle and watch the deep pass. I think the corners are always going to be more important in this league, especially with it going to passing direction. That being said, Mario Goodrich, do I have faith in him? Yeah, kind of. Josh Jobe, Tay Gowan, Zach McPherson. I would like someone to develop and be that guy, but I'm not ready to say that they can come out here and do this right away. And I think Big Play Slay being as good as he is, if you got a really, really weak link, if you got somebody that is Steven Nelson or worse, it's just attack city over there, right? Now you can shade safety coverage over there to help, but I just think the dynamics change and you are limited on what you can do. You can't blitz if you need to drop your one of the reasons why we did not blitz last season is one, Gannon's system was his system. We didn't play as much man. You can still blitz in zone, of course, and he got better at that throughout the season. But he had his safety so far back and his corner so far back. There was no reason to blitz because quarterbacks were getting the ball out fast. Whether you blitz or not, they were eating us up. The better you have in the secondary, the more you could feel confident. If you got a Bradbury, a Maddox, and a Slay, you're like, I don't need to have Epps or Wallace or Harris so far back. You can play the field differently and do different things. And so I think you get me. I'm already saying right now, I believe that the Eagles and Cowboys, it's a two-man race. I believe both Eagles and Cowboys are going to win double-digit games. And I do believe that we're going to be able to win this division. But if you give me James Bradbury, I'm talking even more trash the rest of this summer.
It'd be awesome to upgrade, but I just think with our better linebackers in general, that was a huge reason why we're getting torched too. These guys sucked at covering, they sucked at everything last year in terms of linebackers. We got linebackers now that all have speed, that all can play sideline to sideline, and that was going to stop all that underneath, stuff that was going on last year. All these dink and dunk passes to your running backs, your tight ends, slants to the receivers that were just getting left open. Now we actually got athletic linebackers and skilled linebackers to get in there, and break some of that stuff up. So that's also going to help. It's going to take that quarterback to the third read, what I'm saying, instead of the first or second. Now you got to make that third read. Like you said, by that time, our D-line should have already got there. Our front seven is dominating this year. They're going to be eating all year long. What I'm saying? That's why I said if there's any better year to let's see if we can pull out a young stud at cornerback 2 right now or pull out a young stud at safety. This is that year because your front seven is so dominating, that you can actually risk, they're going to be getting after that quarterback real fast. So, it won't be as hard for these guys in the back end at all.
Let me just ask you this. If the Eagles can pick, if you had to pick only one, and again, not just we're going to say position, but we'll put a name to that position, James Bradbury or Chuck Clark?
Bradbury. I mean, because I feel like, just like you said, I feel like but it's easier to, to throw a safety back there when you are so dominant up front. Your front seven, your CB2s and ones are locking down. So the safety is basically a luxury pick. You know what I mean? We're happy to have you, but we don't really need you right now. But we're happy to have you. Just So I feel like with Bradbury pick to me, look, it will be very, very good. And plus, who knows how long Slay had? Yes, I understand last year was a Pro Bowl year. His contract is about to be up either next offseason or the following. But Bradbury is 28. So, I mean, he still got at least 5 years, left in him. So he could be a Darius Slay replacement. So we're not only looking for towards this year, but the future also.
Yeah. Well, real quick, Jeremiah's like, if Clark involves trading Rager, then I want Clark.
Right.
Yeah, but hey, don't nobody want Rager. But the Ravens did not want Rager.
A little bit of interest.
It was like this. Who? Nah, we're good. After they wipe their eyes, they're like, wait, who? Nah, we're good. Oh, man.
I'm going to put Clark just for the simple fact that I think I want to see that, the times have changed with our team in general. Like, we actually can get players better, players come back, develop these players and they get a lot better. So if you get the safety, that's saying that you have confidence in one of these young cornerbacks that we have out there. And that's always awesome as well. Let's get this development. I want the mindset of our football team to change.
Yeah.
We're always like, nothing can develop. We're not good at this. We struggle here. We don't have no linebackers. In the last 2 drafts, man, we drafted from the SEC. We never did that before. This draft is like, we getting linebackers. Everybody wanted Kobe D in the first round. So that whole fixation of wanting the first round linebacker, we got one. Even though we got him in the 3rd round, we still got him. If we would have picked him up at 15, everybody would have been happy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody would have been happy. Okay, that's your first round pick. The Kobe D would be like, yeah, we got a first round linebacker. We got him in the 3rd. You guys still give him his flowers for that, and we still, we're going after linebackers. We know in general and getting Reddick and getting Kazir White. That guy's he's on the up and up right now, and in his career. So I think that we're doing things that the Eagles normally don't do, and I think we need to continue that trend. And let's see if we can develop a couple of these cornerbacks, and get that big play safety.
Yeah. I like both Chuck Clark and James Bradbury. But I was always going to lead to corner. I do believe you got guys that can develop, and I think that's one thing that Jonathan Gannon's, you know, kind of put his name on. He started as a DB coach, and DBs normally play better under him as the coach. And this is his first DC job, right? But he came up, right? Nick Sirianni came up with the wide receivers. He came up with the corners. But shout out to running back Philly with the $4.99 super chat. It's that time of the year, right? What's up, Mike? Let's lose and get a QB next season. I mean,
man.
Look, I don't like talking about this necessarily, but here's my thing. Like, there is such thing as purgatory in the NFL, and I've heard people talk about it in a sense of if the quarterback you got is not bad enough to make you only win 4 games, but it's not good enough to get you to win 12 games, you find yourself at that 8 or 9. If we end up, listen, it's not successful to me if we don't win double digits. But if we end up winning 8 or 9 games, well, now you're in the middle of the pack. It's harder to go get a quarterback, but you're not worse enough to lose your quarterback. You know what I mean? So it's a tough scenario. Let's be honest. I wake up on Sunday. I can't root against the Eagles, even if it's to help the team. I just can't. But if you find yourself week 7, not 7, if you find yourself week 9, week 10, and you're a trash team, then I'm going to want to win. But every loss, I'm going to feel okay about it because it's for the chance to go ahead and get that franchise altering type quarterback. And we already hearing the rumors that this quarterback draft is going to be legit and not just the Bryce Youngs and I will say Carson Strong and the what's the other ones with the big Stroud, whatever his name is.
Stroud.
Yeah.
So
the OU, right?
Huh?
Like the OU quarterback?
Yeah.
But between them and there's other ones, right? And we always say that these are the top 2 now.
Well,
but by draft time, you'll hear the other names be mentioned and whatnot. But I am glad the Eagles didn't go quarterback really in this draft. We did get the undrafted free agent in Carson Strong. We'll see if that ever translates to anything. But I know I'm gonna be working with running back Philly sooner rather than later. And we're gonna be talking about Jalen Hurts because that's where his Ohio State is what's it called? Stroud.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be talking about, I think DJ Eastwood is very happy with what the Eagles did, but he's gonna center most of his talk about Jalen Hurts and what he is gonna do this season in his eyes. And we'll all talk about that. But yeah, I'm glad we touched on the defense real quick before we got up out of here. We're almost 2 hours. I'm still tired from the day before when I was wrecked. I had a lot of stuff I had to do yesterday. I had to wake up and I wasn't really feeling it. But I appreciate y'all for coming on. Again, we are live on 3 channels. So listen, hit that like button wherever you're watching it. Make sure you subscribe to all the people on the panel. All you gotta do is type it in the search bar if you've never seen it before. Bird Gang 31, JC Sports Talk. If you're not subscribed to me, Philly Talk Podcast, Philly Mike. Again, once you get to that close to that 2 hour mark, I start just making up stuff. I'll make up stats or whatever. 2 hour mark is where
How big of an impact is Jordan Davis going to be here?
He's like, let's get it attack. I think Jordan Davis is going to be a game changer. I'm ready to see it though. But you guys got anything you want to say? What you got going on this week and blah 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 for your channels and stuff before we get up out of here?
Look, they talk about the birds around this time, man. Look, I'm actually going to try to get some more people on the channel. Break down the draft a little bit more, the Christmas persons and everybody else. So look, I'm all about trying to get as much Eagle collab as I can, but also I'm trying to get the NFL. So if you're a Washington, fan, a Giants fan, Cowboys fan, it doesn't matter. It's all about football all day, every day, because sooner or later we're going to have to play all 31 other teams anyway, so you might as well tune in to enjoy the conversation about football.
Yes, sir, man. Just all day Eagles news, baby. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love being able to work with guys like you guys. You guys are some of the best in the business. I always love having good football talks with you guys. And like you said, on my channel, that's what I do too. Just collabs up the yin yang. We're gonna try to get as many awesome people to talk good football. Like you said, no matter what team, we get content creators from every team, and we're just gonna have some fun over here on the BG31 channel. So subscribe.
There we go. Yeah. We'll be talking about it. There's still going to be some interesting things that the Eagles can go out and experiment with via trade, via signings. There's still some guys out there. I'm excited. Again, around the 2-minute mark, I start getting a little dreary. But I'm very excited.
Mark. Not 2 minutes.
The 2-minute drill, at the end of it, right? And I'm
just warming up, Mike.
Just warming up. Back in the day with some Battlebird podcast episodes, we used to be able to go long, but I don't know. I feel like I ate, maybe it was the Eagles that season before this one. They aged me so much. I don't know. It's crazy. But I appreciate y'all for coming through. Hit that like button, subscribe, and we will be back. It's going to be Eagles. Even when it gets dry, we're going to figure out topics to talk about, because at the end of the day, is Fly Eagles Fly. And we are out.
Go Birds.